G'day, it's Mark. Welcome back to the channel. And today I got another road trip across America episode for you. My 1968 Chrysler 300 four-door pillarless hardtop. And if you haven't checked out the other videos on my road trips across America, check those out. There's the Ford Torino, 1970 Torino Brougham. There's one on the 1966 Dodge Monaco 383. There's one on the 1978 Mercury Colony Park Woody Wagon, and another one on the 1971 Imperial LeBaron 440. Nice car. But today's episode is about my 1968 Chrysler 300. It's the four-door pillarless sedan. Really a sedan because it hasn't got pillars, but it's a four-door body style. The 68 300s are available in a two-door body style, the four-door pillarless, and also the convertible. And they're all fitted with a 440 cubic inch big block V8. Concealed headlights, some really cool rear tail lights. It reminded me a little bit of the Turbine, Chrysler Turbine car that I also featured on the channel. Check those videos out. You can see the reversing lights there. There's little rear nacelles that show the rear influence from the Turbine car. Little gills in the side and quite an elaborate body sculpting as well. Another Elwood angle extravaganza from a styling point of view. And yeah, fantastic car. This car I bought quite a few years ago out of Detroit. The ad said it had been sitting for quite a while. The last time that it was driven, Jimmy Carter was the president of the US. That would have been about 78, 79 before Ronnie Reagan took over. So it had been sitting a long, long time, and it certainly needed work to get it back up and running. But a really nice color combination: red, white vinyl roof, white interior. I thought that looked terrific. Power windows, really nicely equipped. 440 automatic. So we had to do some work on the car first. Fletch, my mate Murray, helped with that. In the intake manifold, there's a sort of a gasket or like an aluminium sort of heat shield, if you like, which had been perforated, and that had to be replaced. The engine was pretty gunky inside. Looked like it hadn't had a lot of oil changes, so we sort of cleaned that out best we could. Got that going, had it to have a transmission service. There's various other things that we did to the car. Probably fair to say it wasn't maybe as prepped as well as my previous road trips, and that probably showed itself later in the road trip. So we drove it from Ohio up to Detroit. Heading out of Detroit, we had a mechanical problem. The belt the pulley was out of alignment, and it had been wearing the belt, and the belt for the water pump failed, so car overheated. So I pulled over, and Fletch was able to find a local O'Reilly's that had the right belt, put some little shims in the pulley so we could align the pulley properly. Then I spotted a star picket nearby because we needed something to lever the pulley to get some tension on it, and so we pulled the star picket out of the ground and used that, which was pretty cool. So Fletch got the car going, which was terrific. Luckily, we had the backup vehicle as well. So we continued our way across the states, and it was a fantastic trip. One section that was a bit hairy was Fletch and I were in Colorado at a wrecking yard, checking out some cars and parts. I bought some nice hubcaps for one of my Mercuries. And you could see a snowstorm was coming in, so we had to get out of Dodge pretty quickly. So yeah, driving up through the mountains, and then snow started falling, more heavily. I guess people who live in the snow, they probably think, well, that was nothing. But to us, from Australia, it was a bit of a big deal, driving around a 440 cubic inch vehicle with drum brakes. That was a bit concerning, but we got through it fine, and the car headed along beautifully. Although we did have another issue, I think, around Utah Way. We're up in the sort of mountains before you come down into the salt plains. And yeah, just problem with the distributor and the points, and so it was running really, really rough coming down through the mountains one night. So we were stranded for a couple of days there. So then we were getting a bit tense around, getting back in time to get our flights. I mean, I wasn't overly worried because the worst case scenario is just put on a truck and ship it there, but I wanted to drive it the whole way, like I always do. So we're able to get the car going again and continue our trip, and it was pretty uneventful all the way through. Drove down to the Salt Lakes, got some really nice photos around the Salt Lakes there in Utah, around Bonneville, where they do the speed trials. And we also then went through the desert, through Nevada, and then into California, and then through the peak hour traffic, and then dropped the car off at the shippers. So it was, it was a pretty eventful trip. And, when we finished it up, we said, well, let's do it again in 2020, but COVID happened. So that was in 2019. So I am planning another trip off this year. Stay tuned for that coming up, but it's been 4 years. So looking forward to getting back to the US. So anyway, that's a quick grab of the 1968 Chrysler 300. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Check the other ones out, as I mentioned, on the other road trips. Give it a thumbs up. Doesn't cost anything. And also subscribe. Hit that little button down there. As I say, it doesn't cost anything. And hopefully you're enjoying the content. It really helps the channel. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time. Bye.